You're listening to the WBT Podcast with Michael Lodge. Listen to all of our podcasts at www.wbtpod.com. Stay informed. Let's get started.
And welcome to the WBT. This is Michael Lodge. Cold morning here in Palm Beach. Not quite used to it. I got my body used to having nice warm weather, and then all of a sudden we get down to the very cold. You know, our beautiful green lizards that climb all over the trees and everything in the houses are dropping out of the sky because it's too cold. It's a sad situation. Our conversation today is going to be about AB5. AB5. Assembly Bill 5 out of California that has attacked small business. I'll be right back.
This is brought to you by Lodge & Co., a business and tax advisory firm where your success is our goal. Call us today toll-free at 888-681-1518 or visit us at www.lodge-co.com and learn more about what we can do for you. Lodge & Co., your source for sound business and tax services.
So in California, we have politicians that are trying to control every little aspect of Californians' life. And the problem that we're seeing is that it is hurting small businesses, those people in the gig community who just want to work part-time to earn extra money, or they want to work out of the house. Maybe they have a medical condition that they can't go into an office and they need to work out of house. But they don't want to work full-time, they just want to work whenever they feel like it. So we have Assembly Bill 5, which was designed and written and pushed through the legislature up in Sacramento, California, and her name is Lorraine Gonzalez. Very liberal socialist Democrat out of, I believe, San Diego. But she has really done a lot of harm with this AB5. Can you imagine? We have individuals who are working regular jobs every single day, or they may even might be doing consulting work. They may be filing a Schedule C for business or profession because they're operating as a small business. It might be a writer. It might be a medical transcription person. It might be a court transcriber. It might be a translator. It might be an individual who's driving Uber. It could be a whole bunch of different things because a lot of different people work side jobs. We call it the gig community. Well, now with AB5, what Lorraine has done is make everybody a W-2 wage earner. And the reason why they are doing that is because they want to have as much tax dollars as possible. Unfortunately, when you do that, I'll give you a good example. A nurse that is doing a part-time job, maybe she's working for home health, maybe she's working for a hospice, and she's traveling from patient to patient. As a W-2 earner, she loses all of that transportation miles on her tax return. She loses that. As a gig employer, she's getting a 1099 and she's operating her own business and she's working for a whole bunch of different home health, hospice, whatever type of organization, maybe even another facility. She can file a Schedule C and she can take all of those business expenses. But as a W-2 earner, you lose everything that is a legitimate deduction as a 1099 employee. So a lot of different companies have now saying we're no longer going to hire independent contractors. Now, independent contractors have been around for a long, long time. They're accountants like me. I've done independent contracting for ages. Going in, working as a CFO, going to another company, working for as their controller. I had several different contracts all at one time. Now those companies will no longer hire me because I am an employee. Thank God AB5 was changed so that it does not include accountants. In fact, there are some exclusions to this. Now, in the healthcare industry, it is all doctors are excluded from AB5. They're excluded. However, within that same business program, which is a California code, which is called the Business and Profession Code, Section 500, it lists doctors and it lists nurses and physical therapists and or occupational therapists and respiratory therapists and a whole bunch of other medical healthcare professionals that are licensed by the state of California. But what has happened now is that only doctors are excluded from this law. All the other medical professions who have to pay their dues, have to provide their own malpractice insurance and everything else, they are not excluded. So I wrote to the Department of Labor of California and also the Industrial Board of California trying to get a clarification as to can the other medical classifications besides doctors be excluded also. No response back. I did get one response back from an Assemblyman member, Chin, out of Orange County, California. What he gave me was nonsense. It didn't help me at all. So I rewrote and said, that's not my question. This is what I need clarification on because my client is in your district. No answer yet. I sent a second request yesterday to the Department of Labor and also to the Industrial Board to get clarification because they're all in one email, it seems. Email address. No response yet. Now, I sent one last week and I sent another one yesterday. And I'm still waiting for something. But I'm not getting anything. I sent a letter or an email to Lorraine Gonzalez to get an answer from them. Never got a response back from them. So we have an inactive government that don't want to respond to a bad law. Because they know it's a bad law. Now, when this law went into effect, the trekkers went into court and they got exempted. So trekkers got exempted, but everyone else, all the small fries, all the small independent businesses that are trying to operate as a gig community, they get attacked. So this is what happens in the socialist government is that the government wants to control everything. They want to control your housing. California just adopted a statewide rent control bill. So that's now law. They want to control your job. They want to control your health care. So this is what happens when in a socialist government is that they start taking control over every aspect of your life. That's what government is. You become a slavery to the government. You become a slave to the government. And this is what California is becoming. It's become a socialist state. So they protect the government, but they won't protect the individual. So individuals who used to be able to work in this gig community are now kicked out. They've lost their work. I have heard complaint after complaint after complaint from people across the state of California. They have sent me emails saying, we are hurt and we don't know what to do about it. Because we only want to work part-time. We don't want to work full-time. We don't want to get into this W-2 thing. If we're only going to work 1 hour a month, I got some PTs that work for some of my clients just 1 hour a month. Maybe 1.5 hours. Maybe 4 hours. Some might work 40 hours. That's not a full... Listen, there's 173.33 work hours in a month. 40 hours is just a little tiny prick of that 173 hours. So we have a big problem in California where Lorraine Gonzalez is, in fact, I want to tell you this, is that this law, Assembly Bill 5, was supported and sponsored by the unions of California. By the unions of California, which she is being driven by the unions of California. That's her whole main, well, she has two main concerns. One, that the unions support her, and she's going to support the unions, in that the state of California gets more tax dollars. Now, the state of California will tax anything. If you breathe there, they're going to, in fact, they do already. They tax you on the air that you breathe through your gas taxes and through your environmental taxes that's attached to every time you buy a gallon of gas. So the state of California, they want that tax dollars. They want more and more of it because they're spending more and more on it, on programs that benefit them in their political power than it does the true American community in California. Having a state rent control is really, really a problem. Because now you have no control over rents and what you're going to get because it's control. Listen, Bernie Sanders 3 days ago, came out with a statement, we need a national rent control. And this comes from the head socialist of America. This guy is nutso because he wants to control every part of your life. He wants to control of how you breathe, how you sleep, how you work, how much taxes you're going to pay out, how your health care, how your housing limits are. He is going to control everything. That's what he wants. That's exactly what California is doing. And so we have a socialist government taking control. And so now businesses are saying, why even stay in a state like this? They're going to attack me every time I turn around trying to grow my business. They're going to say, okay, he's growing. We're going to take another tax. Can you imagine that state is just bombarded with taxes from the state to the county level to the city level? The county of Los Angeles, for example, requires that you do your property taxes, and sometimes, and that's based upon how many computers you have, how many desks you have, everything else, sometimes that can be quite hefty to a small business. I have one client that just got a bill for over $5,000. And she's just a staffing company with just a few tiny employees. So when you have this happening in a state that is so anti-business and so anti-Californian, and all they want is the power and more tax money to spend and waste. I saw the other day that the Department of Transportation in California got the Golden Fleece Award because they wasted billions of dollars on construction projects that never ended. They never finished them. That's how tax money is being wasted in California. If you went into the state of California government and saw how much was wasted, everybody would be so shocked that they'd say, what in the world has happened? What in the world has happened to California? So you see companies moving out because it's just no longer a business-friendly state. Some stay there because they're so entrenched there. They've invested so much money, like Yahoo and Google and Facebook. They have big, huge complexes there that they have spent billions of dollars on. So they're stuck. So what do we do? Well, we as Americans, we have to speak up and we have to take action. For one thing, these individuals that are asking for more taxes and more taxes, they should not be in office. But you guys in California keep pushing them into office. You don't listen to the words that they're spouting. You're not listening to their political rhetoric. You're not listening to what they believe in. Instead, you just like them because they might be a woman, or they might be Hispanic, or they might be whatever they may be. You're voting not based upon what they have done or what they haven't done or what they will do to the state of California. You're voting on something else. And this is where you've got to stop. Because if you let people into government that do not care about you, and they are so pro-union, and they're so pro-taxation, and they're so pro in wasting your money as California taxpayers, you're just letting the state rot. And that's what's happening in California. It's rotting away. So AB5 is a big problem in California. And it needs to be talked about. It needs to be repealed. But the problem with California is that the Democrats there, if they know that you want to repeal something, they begin attacking you. And it becomes dirty, and it becomes outright corrupt, the way that they do it. The governor, the attorney general there, and the members of the state assembly and senate are so corrupt that it's damaged small business people, especially in the gig community, who can no longer work and have lost their work, lost their ability to earn extra income on the side. And I say that because companies don't want to hire independent contractors anymore. So the bill really stinks. And the state assembly person that wrote this bill really stinks to high heaven. Lorraine Gonzalez has done nothing to help the state of California people. Only the government, not the people. She has pushed them to the side. She has made rude comments to those people who have complained about AB5 and how it affected them personally. She doesn't care, and she puts them down. She doesn't care. Because she knows that she's a Democrat and she's in power, so she is the one that you have to listen to. She doesn't have to listen to you. That's how she feels. And that is her political agenda. And that is a political agenda. That is the political agenda of every Democrat that is in the Assembly, in the Senate, in the governor's mansion, and the governor's office, and the attorney general's office. They don't care about Californians anymore. They only care about their political power and their political agenda, which is destroying the state of California. So again, I'm asking you, listeners in the state of California, start attacking your assembly people and your state senate people who voted for this stupid bill. And demand that it be recalled. Or demand that changes are made. It was originally written to attack the Ubers, the Lyft type companies, those types of companies. It was originally Lyft because the state of California saw, oh my gosh, we're losing billions of dollars from Uber drivers or Lyft drivers or any internet company that's providing a service like that. We're losing billions. So they want their money. They want their greedy money on that. Now, they don't ever think that those Uber drivers and Lyft drivers and all those people working for this gig community are running their own business. So they have to pay their own self-employment taxes. They have to file their business returns. But they don't care. They want their money right now. Greedy, corrupt California. That's what it's become. And it makes me sad because California is my home state. It's the state that I was born in. It was the state that I started my business in. In 1984, I started my business. In 2019, I moved my business out of California and over to Florida. Florida is a business-friendly state. So, small guys like me, and I'm a small guy, I used to have a lot of employees in California. I've gotten rid of them all. Now I'm down to me. I am it. I am the last remaining person in my company. Because now I have to rebuild in Florida. California tore everything I had down in California. And now I have to rebuild in the state of Florida. So I can speak to you firsthand how it feels to be a California refugee and being pushed out by so many rules and regulations and high taxes on everything in California. So I encourage each and every single one of you, get on your phones today, get on your internet connections and call up your local state assembly person and state senator and begin sending out emails on a daily basis saying, you want this thing repealed, you've got to do it. Google your state assembly person who is in your district. Google the person that's in the state senate there and send them an email daily, constantly, and get this thing repealed. AB5 is a disaster for the state of California. It's a socialist law. And we've got to start fighting all of these people in the state assembly and in the state senate that do not care about Californians. They only care about the power that they have, about the money that they receive. That's it. Okay, everybody go out there today. Let's fight this AB5. Let's get it going. Let's do something that will help California and help the people that are surrounding you. All of you small business people who have really tried and worked so hard in the gig community to do something with your lives, to earn that extra bucks. You need to fight back. Right now, it took into effect January 1st, this AB5, so it's going to touch you in some way. Because now, everybody that has to go W-2, the cost of that product, where they have to now do that, the cost of that product is going to go up because their workers' compensation has gone up, the state taxes have gone up, the federal taxes have gone up. Guess who they pass those expenses on to? You, the consumer. And if you don't think that way, and if you don't think about every time you buy something, what took to make this product or create this service, and why is it so high, it's because California has their hand in the pot. And they're the ones that are getting everything and squeezing you dry of every penny that you have. So Californians, get out there now. Today is the day that you need to fight AB5. Oh, there's a whole bunch of other bills out there that you need to fight. But today I ask that you fight Assembly Bill 5, written by Lorraine Gonzalez. Vote her out of office and get this law repealed. This is Mike Lodge for the WBT. If you have any comments or questions, text me. 818-252-5682, 818-252-5682. I'll talk with you tomorrow, guys. Let's fight.
Thank you for listening to the WBT with Michael Lodge. Join us again tomorrow as we explore more about business and taxes. Follow us on iHeartRadio and go to our podcast website at www.wbtpod.com and listen to all of our podcasts and read our blogs.
This podcast is produced by Michael Lodge, fully focused on content.